Hi there, and I want to welcome you back to my channel again today. Now, before anything, click the notification bell, like, and share me with others. It's an honor to spend time with you. Today, we're going to deep dive into one of life's biggest battles: fear versus faith. We're flipping the script on fear, knowing that fear disguises itself as protection, but really, it holds you hostage. Now, what if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is fear wearing a clever disguise? What if faith isn't just a feeling, but the bold action you're being too scared to take? Ask yourself that question. How can we turn that same energy into a powerful force called faith? Faith in yourself, faith in your purpose, and faith in what's possible. Now, this isn't just about motivation. It's about rewiring the way you respond to life generally. I want us to turn fear into fuel and finally use that fuel to move forward. Today, we're talking faith versus fear. Now, fear often keeps us stuck in the past. It's something that happened in the past. But faith is different. It propels us forward into new opportunities and possibilities. The question is, which one are you listening to? Fear says, what if I fail? While faith says, what if I succeed? Today, I want us to choose to move into faith today and start asking questions that lead us to opportunities. The second thing I'm going to talk about today is the power of boldness. Yes, there's a power that comes with being bold. Taking bold steps honestly might feel scary. I understand that, but it's exactly what is needed to propel us to the future and forward. And my question to you is, how many missed opportunities are tied to hesitation and self-doubt? How many? Then, the next thing I'm going to talk about is faith being action. Faith isn't just a belief. It's a belief that leads to action. The moment you take a step forward, your goal, your faith becomes real. Now think about this. Walt Disney, I'm sure we all know Walt Disney, all the cartoon characters, Snow White, all of them, Walt Disney. He faced numerous rejections and failures, but remained persistent. He kept pushing forward in his faith that his dreams would come to fruition. Nobody could change his mind or stop him. His faith was demonstrated in action every time he moved forward his goal and towards his goal. I promise you. And we think fear is something bad. It's not. And I was having this conversation with a couple of people a couple of days ago. Fear is actually your friend. It's there to tell you that maybe I don't have enough information about this thing that I'm going out to go and do. Maybe as I'm going for this exam, I'm afraid maybe I still need to understand one place a little bit and sharpen my knowledge on something. We need fear. That fear that stops us from walking on the streets without having to not look left and right. Because if you're not afraid, do you know many people would have died by now? I'm not even sure if we're going to be alive if we're not afraid. People will be standing on their ceilings and walking off without being afraid that they're going to fall down and die. So what is fear meant to do for us? They say courage is not the absence of fear, but is the doing of the thing in spite of the fear. So fear is your friend. You need it. We all need a measure of it. We all need a measure of it for working, for life, for living, for loving, for so many things. We need fear. However, if you then use fear as your crutch to not do anything, that's where the problem is. Barely 3 years ago, I'll say 3 years, 3.5 years ago, if you'd asked me to stay in front of a camera and deliver anything, I would never accept it. I would never agree to doing it, ever. And I've worked in the television industry for over 2 decades, maybe 23 or so years now. As a producer, I've produced all kinds of programs in all the genres that we have out there. But I hardly ever will stay in front of the camera. Yes, I had a stint here and there in acting some years ago, 15 or so years ago. I was forced to do it. It wasn't because I wanted to do it, but I was blackmailed into doing it. Any other thing but that, you will never see me stand with a microphone and speak to people. You will never see me stand in front of the camera and speak to people. How did I help myself? I heard that question from you. I'll answer. Thank you for asking. I started to say yes first before thinking about it. I had to teach myself how to say yes. So when people say, would you, before you even ask me, I'll say yes. Would you help us, yes. We have a program. Would you come for our podcast? Yes. And then later I'll ask myself who sent me message, because my real self or myself at the time, based on the story I was telling myself, will then show up and say, but you don't stay in front of the camera to do anything. Nobody's going to listen to you. By that time, I've already said yes, and that person has ticked it as yes. So what I started to realize was that whenever I did say yes, the knowledge that I needed, the support that I needed, the resources that I needed started to show up. Unless I can't make it. If you say, would you help? Yes, I will. Especially in front of the camera or, in front of people. Yes. I remember the day that I was speaking in front of a huge audience, an organization called WIMBIZ, Women in Business. They normally have these yearly programs. I'd never spoken in front of so many people in my life before. I don't know what boldness carried me to go and tell them that I want to speak at the event. They initially said they didn't have any space for me. And I told them, I said, don't worry, if I'm meant to speak, a space will open for me. And a space did open. So I really was meant to speak. Now, I begged them that they should put me last so that everybody would have spoken. And then I can come and do my little bits. And just in case it doesn't go so well, nobody will remember me anyways. Those are the things I was telling myself. But on the outside, I was like, I've got this. So I just thought, okay, you know what? Let me put a few things together. They gave me only 9 minutes, by the way, 9 minutes. And I was like, okay, how hard can it be to fill up 9 minutes? So I sat down, put my thoughts together. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I'll give them an action points to do in the hall. That will fill up my 9 minutes and I'm good to go, right? Wrong. They didn't call me last. They called me first. And as I was coming on stage, I'm like, but I didn't ask to be called first. I said, call me last. I even said it in the microphone that they called me in the midst of other doctors. I wanted the doctors to speak first, and then I'll crack a joke and say, well, I'm not a doctor, but this is the little that I really felt this. I'm telling you exactly the things that were going on in my mind. On the outside, it felt like I was courageous and bold, but on the inside, all these battles were going on. But I'd already said yes. So guess what? I'm gonna do it. So I stood on stage, I started speaking, and the courage and the boldness and the fear started to dissipate, because guess what? I'm here. So I must be worthy of being here, is what I told myself. I'm not a fluke. I'm not an excuse. I'm not an example. I am worthy of standing on this stage, and the words that will come out of my mouth will be words that will bless people and edify people. And that's exactly what happened. By the time I was doing the action point, everybody, the whole hall was up in an uproar. There was a woman that left her house during the lunch period. She came to meet me. She said, I left my house to come and see you because the thing you asked me to do, I was doing it. My husband was wondering what's going on. I had to come and tell you thank you for saying those things out there, because as women, we don't share the things that you shared. So thank you. Another woman came to meet me. She said, I didn't even remember anything the doctors that were there said, but I remember what you said and I will never forget you. Now guess what? I did it afraid. With the fear. It didn't go anywhere. I just started telling myself better words. And those better words gave me better ginger. And that ginger gave me liver. And voila. Now the Bible says that we live by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. We live by faith. And without faith, it's impossible to do anything and impossible to please God. So my affirmation to you today is, I choose faith over fear. I take bold steps towards my dreams. I choose faith over fear, and I take bold steps towards my dreams. Now, one of the bold steps that you're going to take is, I want you to identify an area of your life where you're afraid, and I want you to take a bold action today that moves you closer to achieving that thing. And then, of course, I've got a course called the 9 Elements of You that would really help teach you more about you. And I also got a new book, The Transformed You. I'm so excited about this book. It's on pre-launch at the moment, and it's 10,000 naira and $10 if you're buying from out of the country. It is such a beautiful and powerful book. I needed this book in my time, so I can promise you, you need it too. And it's a reminder to me today of some of the things that I need to keep doing to keep showing up powerfully and boldly. And it's also a reminder of all the things that you can easily slip into or start doing that stops you from achieving your goals. This book is the answer to faith. But it will show you what fear can also do to you, right? And it will show you what faith does to you. It's called The Transformed You. Now, wouldn't you like something that will help you? I know that I always need help. Always, I always need help. And so if you think that you also want to talk to someone else about where you're at and how to help you overcome the fear, because honestly, what I didn't say about one of the things that I did was hypnotherapy to help me overcome the fear that I had and build up the boldness and courage and confidence in me again. And that you might be lacking the expertise of somebody in your life to help you do it. I am your plug. I would help you release every limiting belief that you have and amplify the cheerleader in your head and in your life so that you start to do everything that you need to do from a place of courage, even with the fear. My name is Adeola Kingsley James. Mwah. I love you.